In today's Deconstruct, we are going to start with something really bland and boring. I'm talking about the South Indian rice dish, Upma.
Tamil director and National Award winner Radhakrishnan Parthiban wants Upma, a South Indian savoury dish, to be declared the national dish of the country. Parthiban said Upma was his saviour during the start of his career when he was hard-pressed for money. He said many assistant directors survive only on Upma even today. It requires less ingredients and it is a one-pot dish that can be made in a short time. Upma must be declared the national dish of India.
Okay, there's no way you can make Upma the national dish. It tastes freaking horrible. Sorry Upma fans, but that's true. And for people who've never tasted or heard about Upma before, it basically is idli that couldn't graduate college. And secondly, if actor-director Parthiban's antics is anything to go by, then it might be best to stay away from Upma. What? Clearly, eating Upma has its own side effects. Now, if you're thinking why I'm wasting time talking about Upma, there are two reasons. One, I really wanted to show you Parthiban's amazing dancing skills. I'm surprised why still they haven't invited Parthiban to Jhalak Dikhla Ja. And two, my point is not about Upma at all. My point is about the overreaction the Upma comment received in the media and on the internet.
South Indian actor and director R. Parthiban found himself in the midst of a controversy after he jokingly said that Upma must be declared the national dish of India. The comments soon broke the internet and became viral instantly. Outraged by his culinary chauvinism, an English news channel decided to hold a debate on this very pressing national issue. Can Upma be the national dish of India?
Yes, the nation wants to know. How dare Parthiban use such chauvinistic and divisive language when talking about privileged foods like Upma? What about the injustice to the underprivileged minorities like poha, aloo paratha and chola bhatura? They need representation too. The nation wants to know. Look, I really don't care if you like Upma or not. What I'm really worried about is how even comments as harmless as this can generate such outrage. So ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about outrage culture. We live in an age where anything and everything generates massive hysteria and outrage. It doesn't matter how harmless the comment or piece of news is, people always find something to get angry at. Did you watch Wonder Woman? I did too. And in fact, it was the first female superhero movie and it generated billions in the box office. You would think it's a major feminist breakthrough, right? Wrong. Some feminists themselves were outraged at Wonder Woman.
Amanda Warwin is the warehouse manager at Ultimate Comics in Cary. She has high hopes the movie version of Wonder Woman stays true to her character. However, the marketing of the movie is already rubbing some people the wrong way.
It's called Think Thin. That's terrible.
Think Thin High Protein Bars has partnered with the movie, offering discounts on a ticket to the movie for people who buy the products.
I immediately am totally offended by that.
That's right. Wonder Woman now is a fat shamer because she advertised protein bars. How dare she advertise something healthy? It makes us fat people feel bad about ourselves when we're munching the next packet of chips. And then there was this.
Wonder Woman's hairless armpits has angered many feminists on Twitter. They claim that as an Amazonian, her legs and underarms should have been visibly hairy. Many questioned why actress Gal Gadot had perfectly smooth armpits in the film, despite the fact that Wonder Woman is supposed to have no previous contact with regular humans.
Being lean and having clean-shaven armpits is a sign of patriarchal male standards of beauty. I mean, what are these guys thinking? So according to them, a feminist should be overweight and should have bad sense of personal hygiene. I mean, in that case, maybe they should have cast Dolly Bindra in the role of Wonder Woman. Wouldn't quite work, would it? Also, Wonder Woman is a superhero. She's supposed to be super. In the same reason, Superman and Batman don't have beer bellies. Humor is a major victim of outrage culture. It's simply impossible to make edgy jokes without offending anyone. For example, a while ago, Justine Sarko, the head of public relations at Interactive Corp, tweeted this just before she boarded her flight to Cape Town.
I'm off to Africa. Hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white.
I don't know who the bigger idiots are. Her for tweeting that really insensitive joke, or the company who hired her as the blippin' head of public relations. I mean, what were they thinking? Before she landed in Cape Town, Twitter blew up with so much outrage that Justine Sacco became the #1 trending topic worldwide. This is the problem with outrage on the internet. It usually starts with one person or a couple of people reacting angrily to a completely benign piece of news, and before you know it, it becomes an avalanche of accusations of racism, bigotry, prejudice, privilege, and whatnot. I mean, the worst part is that all these people who condemned her didn't even know her. Tens of millions of people from around the world decided to pile on, get her fired from her job, and tarnish her image permanently for one tweet, which was clearly a terrible attempt at a joke. Increasingly, many comedians complain that they can't make edgy jokes anymore in the fear of being labeled racist or bigot on social media. Here are some of the things that recently caused the internet to lose its shit. Megyn Kelly asked PM Modi if he was on Twitter. And yes, that's all she asked.
I saw your tweet.
Oh, yes?
With umbrella.
That's right. You're looking at me on Twitter? Are you on Twitter?
Yes.
That's funny.
First of all, I know that's a terrible attempt at small talk from Megyn Kelly. But come on, can you really blame her? Can you find 3 bigger misfits than Megyn Kelly, Vladimir Putin and Narendra Modi in a room? That's like putting a Dothraki warrior, a wilding and an Ironborn in a room together. The thing is, even Prime Minister wasn't offended at what Megyn Kelly asked him. I mean, he was laughing all the time. And Twitterati chose to take offense on his behalf. I think it's time Twitter should change the what's happening to what are you mad about today? Even musicians aren't immune to this type of criticism. Coldplay's Hymn for the Weekend last year was accused of cultural appropriation because they did show India in all its complexity and instead reduced it to, and I quote, lush exotic land filled with dingy slums inhabited by pious levitating holy men and lanky brown skilled children who are always throwing colored powders at each other. The idealized India obscures the realities of a complex nation in favor of reductive tropes originally intended to preserve Western hegemony. What the hell are you talking about? You know what? Watch the video and judge it yourself. Firstly, there was a beautiful video. I mean, I'm sure these virtual vigilantes were condemning all this evil cultural appropriation by Coldplay by writing an angry post on Facebook while wearing jeans and hogging Maharaja Max. And yet they don't see the irony there. And also, if Coldplay really had to showcase India exactly the way it is, this is how it should have looked like. Doesn't quite work, does it? Now, of course, all this does not mean that it's never okay to be outraged. Outrage is useful and sometimes necessary. There are many outrageous things that happen around the world after all. But when people get outraged at each and every small thing, moral outrage stops carrying much weight. In fact, there's a serious outrage exhaustion problem right now on the internet because the outrage cycle for any issue does not last more than a couple of days. Then these virtual vigilantes pick some other issue to be outraged at. Look at Trump's victory, for example. During the early parts of the primary season, people got extremely outraged over things such as Trump's stance on immigration or his refusal to release his tax returns and almost everything else that he said. But none of this outrage actually went on for more than a few days. Eventually, when Trump started doing actually outrageous things like claiming to sexually molest women.
You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. I can do anything.
And then backtracking it.
Nobody has more respect for women than I do. Nobody.
Openly calling for Russia to hack his political opponent.
Russia, if you're listening,
I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
And then later denying that too.
I don't think anybody knows it was Russia that broke into the DNC. She's saying Russia, 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 but I don't.
And mocking a disabled reporter.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
And then claiming he never did that either.
But he also went after a disabled reporter, mocked and mimicked him on national television.
I don't think he understands the concept of lying. Donald, we actually have video footage of you doing those things. So that's not even a lie as much as just shutting your ears and shouting blah, 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 blah. Yet, the reason some Trump supporters still bought that was because they already were so overexhausted by the level of outrage and witch hunt level at him. So they just assumed everybody outraged at him were just custodians of fake news and propaganda channels with vested interests in demeaning Trump. The philosopher Sam Harris hinted at this curious case of outrage exhaustion among American electorate when he claimed if Trump was 10% as bad as he actually is, he would have seemed worse. The point Harris was making was that there were so many things that we got outraged by that the media took the eye off the ball and couldn't just focus on the big things. And it's not completely the media's fault either. These are the consequences of catering to a public with an endless appetite for outrage. So why is moral outrage so attractive? It's because moral outrage makes people feel good about themselves. In fact, condemning a person or an entity as a racist, sexist, bigoted, or a chauvinist online is a way of showing how you yourself are a moral person. But here's the thing, that's not how the world works. Virtual morality is to actual virtue what sexting is to having actual sex. It might feel good when you're doing it, but you're not actually impacting another person. So we at Let's Get Real have come up with a few rules to check yourself from getting dragged into this kind of outrage pond. Rule number 1. Stop slandering people with words like idiot, racist and bigot. And telling someone that they're idiots in the headline is hardly going to get them to read the article with an open mind and change their views, is it? I mean, having said that, I'm fully expecting op-eds tomorrow on why Piyush Jha is an idiot for his video on outrage. And to whoever is writing that, thanks in advance, you're proving my point. Rule number 2. Stop attacking people from your own tribe. No matter how inappropriately Salman Khan uses the term rape, he's not the main hurdle standing between us and gender equality in India. That would be his fans. Just kidding. So to choose your targets wisely. And finally, rule number 3. If you don't like something, ask yourself if it would be better to waste time writing a scathing post or just ignore it. I mean, so just let it go. Change the channel, turn it off, unsubscribe, unfriend, unfollow, mute, block, walk away. Breathe. Yes, and if you're still angry and scathing inside, then I know one way of improving your mood. Just watch this video. That video is just a gift that keeps on giving. That's the show. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week.